I think you're going to find this next module really very helpful because we're actually going to combine the last two modules together. Now, in English, we use a lot this thing of I've been with an ing. So what I mean by that is I've been waiting, I've been talking, exercising, sleeping, I've been shopping, I've been crying, I've been arguing, so forth. So you can see all the time we have this I've been or I have been with an ing. You have lots of examples here. Now we can do the exact same thing in Spanish. First of all, let's look at the verb estar, and if we want to convert that into the have past, this AR verb gets this ado sound, so we have estado. Now, this estado is how we're going to express I have been or I've been. As we know, they're both the same, just one is abbreviated. So we would get this I have, which is right, from our auxiliary verb haber. This means I've or I have, and the been here is estado. So I've been is estado. How would you say I've been here? He estado aquí. I've been there. He estado allí. I haven't been here. No he estado aquí. I haven't been there. No he estado allí. So just to be clear, we have I've been, he estado, and I haven't been, no he estado. The next thing is to add in this ing bit, the ing tense. Do you remember the verb to travel? Viajar. Viajar. Now, how would you say traveling? Viajando. Here we have the ando sound because viajar is an AR verb. So viajar goes to viajando. Remember, it has to be ando or yendo for this ing. So traveling, we have viajando. Now, if we want to say something like I've been traveling, you just put both parts together. The I've been would be he estado, and then traveling, viajando. So, he estado viajando is I've been traveling. How would you say I haven't been traveling? No he estado viajando. I haven't been traveling this year. No he estado viajando este año. I haven't been traveling much this year. No he estado viajando mucho este año. What's the verb to eat? Comer. Now, how would you say eating? Comiendo. Here we have the yendo sound because comer is not an AR verb, it's ER. So eating, we have comiendo. Now say, I've been eating tacos. He estado comiendo tacos. What's the verb to dance? Bailar. How would you say dancing? Bailando. Now say, I've been dancing a lot. He estado bailando mucho. What's the verb to write? Escribir. Now say writing. Escribiendo. Again, this is not an AR verb, so it takes the yendo sound. Escribiendo is writing. Now say, I've been writing a lot. He estado escribiendo mucho. What's the verb to wait? Esperar. How would you say waiting? Esperando. Now say, I've been waiting for 3 hours. He estado esperando por 3 horas. How would you say, I'm tired because I've been waiting here for 3 hours? Estoy cansado, or cansada if you're female, porque he estado esperando aquí por 3 horas. So here we have, I'm tired. Estoy cansado or estoy cansada. Because it's porque I have been, he estado waiting, esperando aquí for 3 hours. This is a duration of time. So that's why this for is por 3 horas. Welcome to part 2. We're going to do a live demo here to get the other angles, which is very easy now. So we have he estado for I've been, and we just combine that with our previous slide from the last module. So you have this conjugation in the present tense of the verb haber. You have he, has, ha, hemos, and han. So let's go back. We have I've been. Let's just get rid of this. So he estado, I've been. So to change this, has estado, you've been or you have been. Then ha estado, he's been, she's been, it's been. Hemos estado, we've been or we have been. And then of course, han estado, they've been. So you see how easy it is now to get all the other angles simply by using this conjugation here, this key slide. If we have the verb caminar, to walk, how would you say walking? Caminando. Now say, I've been walking. He estado caminando. What about you've been walking? Has estado caminando. He's been walking. Ha estado caminando. We've been walking. Hemos estado caminando. They've been walking. Han estado caminando. What's the verb to wait? Esperar. How would you say waiting? Esperando. Now say, I've been waiting. He estado esperando. You've been waiting. Has estado esperando. He, she, or it's been waiting. Ha estado esperando. We've been waiting. Hemos estado esperando. They've been waiting. Han estado esperando. Let's finish with a quick recap. How would you say I've been? He estado. You've been. Has estado. He, she, or it's been. Ha estado. We've been. Hemos estado. They've been. Han estado. Hopefully everything has been clear so far for you. What I'd like to do now is a drill where we try to construct longer phrases and sentences with this have been. Remember, as always, pause and think carefully about your answers. Think it out step by step. How would you say, he's been trying to buy a house here for 2 years? Ha estado tratando de comprar una casa aquí por 2 años. So we have trying to here. Remember, to try is tratar de. That is to try. And the ing then of tratar is going to go to tratando tratando de, trying to. So here we have he's been, ha estado, trying to, tratando de, buy a house, comprar una casa. And here's aquí. Then 2 years, again, is a duration of time. So we have por 2 años. How would you say, I've been waiting at the house all day for you? He estado esperando en la casa todo el día por ti. Okay, once again we have I've been, he estado, and I've been waiting, he estado esperando. Now, remember that in Spanish we constantly get this little difference where in English we'll say at the house, at the restaurant, at the park, at the concert, wherever. But in Spanish, they tend to say in the house, or I've been waiting in the concert, I've been waiting in the restaurant. So there's always that little difference there where in English we tend to say at, but in Spanish they say in. So, he estado esperando en la casa todo el día. And for, we went with por again because you are the reason, por ti. You are the reason why I've been waiting all day in the house. Try this one. I know you've been talking with him on the phone every day while I'm at work. And here I would like you to say in the work. That's how they would express it in Spanish. Sé que has estado hablando con él por teléfono cada día mientras estoy en el trabajo. Start off with I know, and I know that. Sé que. You've been, has estado, talking with him, hablando con él. On the telephone, remember this use of por is by means of or by way of. Por teléfono, every day, cada día. Then we have the word while, mientras. I am at work, and remember I told you to say in the work. Mientras estoy en el trabajo. They've been talking about you with all their friends. Han estado hablando de ti con todos sus amigos. So they've been now. Han estado. They've been talking. Han estado hablando. Now, about you can be de ti, or if you said sobre ti, that's perfectly fine as well. Sobre ti. With all their friends. Con todos. Todos, because we're talking about friends. Sus amigos. So Spanish wants to always be in agreement with those kinds of things. Todos sus amigos. Part 4 in this module might be the most challenging because an old Spanish grammatical friend is going to come and visit us. There's something interesting that we need to be very aware of. So we have I am here, which is present tense. We have I've been here, which is the past tense. Now, what I would like you to notice is that both of those expressions are coming from the verb to be. So we have I am and I've been. Both of those come under the umbrella of the verb to be. Now, the old friend that's coming to revisit us is this question of ser and the star, because as we know, Spanish has two verbs for to be, ser and estar, which means that I have been or I've been. There are two possible ways to say it, because we could say I have been on the estar side, or we could say it on the ser side. Now, we've already been working a lot with estado, which is coming from the estar side. But we also have ser. Now, ser is an ER verb, And as we were talking about before, for once it behaves in a regular way when we go to the have past because it takes this ido sound. So been on the ser side is sido. So we have he sido or has sido, hemos sido, and han sido. All works in exactly the same way. It's just that now we're on the ser side. So the two ways to say, if we just go in the most simple way to say it, of I've been, could be he estado, I've been, or he sido. Both of them mean I've been. Now, the good news is that most of the time you'll use the estar side, he estado. For example, saying something like, I've been here, would be he estado aquí. Because we're talking about location, and anytime we do that, we're going to be on the estar side. So, he estado aquí. Or if we wanted to express something like, I've been sad, it would be he estado triste. Because now we're expressing something about emotion and mood, something more transitory in its nature. So again, we stay firmly planted in estar, he estado, for I've been. And then we also have all these other ones like I've been with Ing. So I've been talking with him is also on the estar side. He estado hablando con él. Here we have the I've been with any kind of an ing. But now we have to consider other things that can come up in everyday conversation. For example, we could say something like, I am a good father. And for the word father, we're just going to use the common expression of papa. Papa. So, I am a good father. Now we would express that with soy un buen papá, because we're talking about core characteristics, something that identifies us, who we are, that we're a good father. So, soy un buen papá in the present tense. Now, if we were to say something like, I've been a good father, we're still going to stay on that ser side, which means that I've been is now expressed with he sido un buen papá, not he estado. Has to be now he sido, because in the present tense we're talking about identity. Soy un buen papá. So that line doesn't change going down through all the tenses, remains the same. So I've been a good father now in the have past, he sido un buen papá. Don't break the line. If you would use ser or soy in the present tense, then you will also use it in the past tenses. You won't change tracks over to estar. You will stay in ser. So, he sido un buen papá. Here's another one. It's fantastic. So how would you say that it's fantastic? Es fantástico. This is just the general usage of it is or it's. It's fantastic, it's terrible, it's horrible, it's amazing, it's whatever. It's just the general use of it's or it is. And we use ser for those types of things. So es fantástico, present tense. Now, if we want to say it's been fantastic, again, we do not break the line. We stay on the ser side. So it would be ha sido fantástico and not ha estado fantástico. Let's try this one. It's a pleasure to see you again. A pleasure in Spanish is here un placer. Un placer. So how would you say that? This is present tense. It's a pleasure to see you again. Es un placer verte otra vez. This is just the general it is. It's a pleasure. So therefore we went to es. Es un placer. It's a pleasure. A pleasure what? To see you, verte, otra vez. So this is present tense. Now let's try to switch into it's been a pleasure to see you again. How would you say that? Ha sido un placer verte otra vez. So again, you can see how we didn't break the line. If it's ser in the present tense, it will also continue to be ser in the past tense. Let's run through some variations here and see if we uncover any problems. So the first one is, she is a good mother. How would you say that? For the word mother, we'll just use mamá. Es una buena mamá. So this is her identity, part of who she is. She's a good mother. So es una buena mamá on the side of ser. Now, how would you say she was a good mother? This is going to be line past. How would you say that? Era una buena mamá. Again, we're staying on the ser side. Era, she was a good mother, una buena mamá. Now, she's been a good mother. Ha sido una buena mamá. You see how the line never broke. So, she is a good mother. Ser, es una buena mamá. She was a good mother. Era una buena mamá, still on ser. She's been a good mother. Ha sido una buena mamá. Let's switch tracks now over to estar and say she is tired. Está cansada. Okay, present tense. On estar, está cansada. She was tired. Estaba cansada. She's been tired. Ha estado cansada. Here we have she's been on the estar side. So once again, the line never broke. So I'd like you to be a little bit careful. Again, the good news, point number one, is that most of the time you'll use estar, this estado, to represent being. Just in conversation, it tends to fall or default into that way. So most of the time you'll use estado. But if it's a general use of it is, like it's fantastic or whatever, then you're going to go over to the ser side. And of course, anything to do with identity. These things now, if you're saying been, you're going to use sido and not estado. So for example, ha sido un buen mamá, this is identity. So she's been a good mother. Or it's been fantastic, ha sido again, because this is generally es fantástico, so ha sido fantástico. So just watch out for it. 90% of the time you'll use estado, which is the good news. But every now and again you might get caught out. Just be aware that sometimes you will switch over to sido or whatever it is for the ser side. On this estar side, we would have all these things like I've been happy, sick, tired, emotional, okay, moods and emotions. And then we also have the ing, I've been traveling, I've been talking, I've been snorkeling, whatever it is. And also with location, I've been here, there, everywhere, right? He estado, that's all location, I've been. But there are occasions when you might say, I've been a good father. Now you're talking about something that is to do with identity. So we have to switch to he sido. Or she's been a great mom for the last 10 years, whatever. Okay, or she's been, perhaps more correct, she's been a great teacher for the last 10 years. Okay, so this is part of her identity, who she is. She's a great teacher. So, he sido or ha sido. And of course, then for just general usages of it is. If you say it's fantastic, then you'll say it's been fantastic also on the sido side. But luckily, these examples, they're not as common as the ones we use with estar when we're using this it's been or has been, things like that. So again, just be aware of it.